In Eastern beliefs, hell is not merely a realm of punishment after death, it is a mirror reflecting human wrongdoing. Like a spiritual tribunal, hell is a place where souls atone for immoral deeds, but also a transformative path, one that purifies the spirit for rebirth and moral awakening within the cycle of reincarnation. The concept of the 18 levels of hell is widely known in Chinese Buddhism, Taoism, and Vietnamese folklore. Each level corresponds to a particular sin, and the deeper the descent, the harsher the punishment. Yet, hell's ultimate purpose is not destruction, but redemption. One, tongue-ripping hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. This level of hell punishes souls who use their words to harm others, including lying to deceive and take advantage of others, slandering and falsely accusing innocent people, gossiping and spreading rumors that break trust or destroy relationships, spreading misinformation, especially in the digital age. Although words are invisible, their consequences can destroy reputations, trust, and even lives. That's why verbal misconduct is considered a serious offense in the afterlife. Punishment in this hell. The soul is tied down by demonic wardens, its tongue pulled out unnaturally long and cut off using burning iron hooks or fiery scissors. Once severed, the tongue regenerates instantly, and the cycle repeats endlessly. The pain is both physical and spiritual, as the soul is forced to confront the weight and consequences of every harmful word it once uttered. Moral message and life philosophy. The tongue has no bones, yet it can break hearts, and karma never forgets. Speech is a double-edged sword. A single kind word can save a life, while a cruel one can ruin it. When humans use words carelessly or maliciously, tongue-ripping hell stands as a chilling reminder to always speak with truth, kindness, and mindfulness. Two, skinning hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. This level of hell is reserved for those who live in deceit, hiding their true nature behind a polished exterior, including pretending to be kind for selfish gain, using status or power to manipulate and deceive others, wearing a mask of false morality, flaunting perfection, while hiding cruelty and corruption inside. In other words, they use their skin to disguise a rotten soul. Punishment in this hell. The soul is tied tightly to a stone pillar, where hell wardens use fiery iron hooks to peel off the skin layer by layer, starting from the face, arms, body, all the way down to the feet. It is done while the soul remains alive, fully conscious of every excruciating moment. Once the skin regenerates, the torture repeats endlessly. Each layer of skin removed represents another layer of falsehood being stripped away. Moral message and life philosophy. Your true nature will eventually surface. You can't forever hide beneath a beautiful skin. To live truthfully means not hiding behind masks. Those who deceive with appearances will ultimately pay the price through the agony of being exposed. Three, bowling all hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. This hell punishes those who commit acts of killing, cruelty, and violence for personal gain, including murderers who kill mercilessly, those who abuse or torture animals, individuals who profit from mass killing or bloodshed without compassion, instigators of war, violence, or death for power, greed, or pleasure. Any soul that destroys life with brutality is cast into the bowling all hell. Punishment in this hell. The soul is chained with iron bindings, then plunged into a massive cauldron of boiling oil. The body melts in agony, only to regenerate immediately and be thrown back in, again and again without end. Each plunge into the oil is a reminder of the lives they destroy. Moral message and life philosophy. Those who take life for greed will burn in the fire of that very greed. Life is sacred. No one has the right to destroy it out of selfish desire. Every violent act scars the soul, and the bowling all is karma's way of returning that pain 1,000-fold. Four, sawing hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. Sawing hell is reserved for those who sow division and destroy unity and relationships, such as those who break up families, interfering in marriages, encouraging separation or divorce. Gossips and manipulators who plant suspicion, causing friends, siblings, or groups to fall apart. Two-faced individuals who say sweet words to one side but betray them behind their backs. Instigators of conflict who create factions in communities or workplaces for personal gain. These people may not kill with weapons, but they destroy with division, leaving emotional wreckage behind. Punishment in this hell. The soul is either hung upside down or laid flat on a stone slab, while demon wardens use a massive iron saw to cut the body from head to toe. The soul does not die, but experiences unbearable pain as it is torn in two, just like the bonds they once severed. Once split, the body regenerates, only to be sought again, endlessly. Moral message and life philosophy. Those who divide others shall themselves be torn apart. Causing emotional rupture is a form of soul killing that leaves lingering suffering. Sawing hell symbolizes the brutal consequences of causing disunity and betrayal, even without physical violence. 5. Mountain of Knives Hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. This level of hell is reserved for those who were cruel, violent, and abusive, especially those who used physical power and intimidation to dominate others. It includes those who beat or abuse the vulnerable, including women, children, and the elderly. Those who use violence or threats to rob or force others into submission. People who torture others for control, pleasure, or entertainment. Those who trample on the dignity of others and mock their suffering. These are souls who inflicted pain and fear without remorse. Punishment in this hell. The soul is forced to climb a towering mountain made entirely of upright blades and knives, sharp, thin, and deadly. With every step, the soul's feet, hands, and body are sliced open, blood pouring freely. They are not allowed to stop if they hesitate. Hell wardens shove them back to start again. The soul is forced to climb a towering mountain made entirely of upright blades and knives, sharp, thin, and deadly. With every step, the soul's feet, hands, and body are sliced open, blood pouring freely. They are not allowed to stop if they hesitate. Hell wardens shove them back to start again. Upon reaching the top, a violent wind knocks them down, and the soul must begin the climb again, endlessly. Moral message and life philosophy. Those who climbed by stepping on others will one day walk a mountain of knives to realize what they've done. The mountain of knives represents the physical and emotional pain that the sinner caused others. Every blade is a wound they once left behind. Now they must walk through it themselves. Six. Forest of Swords Hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. This level of hell punishes those who inflicted deep emotional and physical pain on others, including betrayers of love or trust, who left lasting emotional wounds, psychological abusers, who used words, silence, or manipulation to mentally break others, those who exploited others' faith, causing trauma and long-term suffering, people who toy with others' feelings, finding amusement in emotional harm. The invisible wounds they caused in life become physical blades in the forest of hell. Punishment in this hell. The soul is forced to walk through a forest made entirely of swords, where every tree, branch, and leaf is a sharpened blade. With each step, swords slice into the soul's flesh, cutting the back, arms, and even the heart. The falling leaves are blades too, piercing the body and reopening past sins. The soul cannot retreat the longer they hesitate, the more the forest grows, turning into an endless maze of pain. Moral message and life philosophy. The emotional wounds you inflicted on others will grow into a forest of blades, piercing your own soul. Verbal cruelty, betrayal, or psychological abuse often cut deeper than physical weapons. The forest of swords represents the consequences of unseen pain that kind, heartless people often overlook. Seven. Ice Hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. Ice Hell is reserved for souls who lived with coldness, emotional indifference, and a lack of compassion, especially those who were ungrateful in love, abandoning their partner during hardship or illness, children who neglected their elderly parents, leaving them lonely and forgotten, people who ignored the suffering of others, walking away from those in need out of selfishness, those who cared only for themselves, showing no empathy for those around them. Hearts frozen in life will be cast into eternal frost in death. Punishment in this hell. The soul is thrown into a land of perpetual ice, where the wind cuts like blades, the sky is gray and lightless, and no voices or warmth exist. The body freezes slowly, starting from the feet, creeping up to the chest, and finally the heart. The soul is surrounded by absolute loneliness. It cries out, but no one answers. The cold does not kill, it preserves the soul in a state of numbness, isolation, and regret, endlessly. Moral message and life philosophy. Those who were cold to others will be frozen within their own forgotten soul. Emotional neglect and apathy are silent forms of cruelty. Ice hell is the embodiment of the loneliness and sorrow suffered by those we chose to ignore. Dismemberment Hell. Reason for punishment. This hell punishes those who betray trust and cause deep emotional wounds, including betrayers in love who deceive and abandon their partners, friends or comrades who backstab for personal gain, those who turn against benefactors or leave loved ones in hardship, anyone who shatters trust so deeply that it leaves others unable to trust again. Betraying trust is like tearing apart the soul's sacred bond between people. Punishment. The soul is chained and torn apart piece by piece, hands, tongue, heart, each part representing a broken promise or betrayal. After being torn apart, the soul regenerates, only to be ripped apart again endlessly. Moral message. To betray trust is to sever the soul's deepest thread. Trust, once destroyed, leaves permanent scars. This hell reflects the emotional agony of betrayal, not just physical pain. 9. Ox-Trampling Hell. Reason for punishment. This level of hell punishes those who abused, tortured, or exploited animals and other weak living beings, including those who beat or mistreat animals for fun, frustration, or cruelty, people who kill pets or wild animals out of greed, amusement, or apathy, those who treat animals as objects, lacking compassion or responsibility, those who profit from the pain, labor, or death of animals without care for their well-being. Even if animals cannot speak, every act of cruelty is recorded in the book of karma. Punishment in this hell. The soul is thrown into a vast valley, where enraged black oxen and demonic buffaloes roam, snorting, roaring, eyes burning red. The beasts are enormous, and they trample the soul endlessly, crushing bones, tearing flesh. The ground is soaked in blood, and the sound of bones breaking echoes across the valley. Yet the soul never dies, it regenerates, only to be trampled again, in a cycle without end. Moral message. Those who trample upon the weak shall be trampled by the karma they create. Every creature, no matter how small, feels pain and deserves life. Cruelty to animals is a reflection of a cold and violent spirit, and in hell, that violence returns. 10. Excrement Hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. This level of hell punishes those who lived in filth both physically and morally, including selfish, greedy individuals who only live for their own pleasure, disregarding others, people with no shame who committed disgraceful acts without remorse or guilt, those who indulge in depravity and base desires, living without dignity or self-restraint, toxic, morally corrupt individuals who polluted not only their surroundings but also the hearts and minds of others. When your soul is filled with filth, it stains not just your body but your very essence. Punishment in this hell. The soul is thrown into a massive pit filled with feces, urine, and rotting waste. The stench is unbearable, beyond human imagination. The soul is submerged, suffocating in excrement, unable to breathe or escape. The more it struggles, the more filth floods into its mouth, nose, and ears. Screams go unheard. No clean sound exists in this realm of decay. Moral message. Those who live dirty inside and out will drown in the filth of their own making. This is not just about physical filth, but also a metaphor for moral and spiritual degradation. Those who live shamelessly, without self-respect, and commit vile acts without remorse are digging their own pit of corruption for the afterlife. Crushing Mountain Hell. Reason for punishment. This hell punishes those who use power, status, or authority to oppress, exploit, or weigh down others, including corrupt officials and leaders who exploited ordinary people for personal gain. Those who abuse their position, forcing weaker people to work under harsh conditions without concern for their well-being. The rich who drain the labor of the poor, giving no fair reward or compassion. Tyrannical figures, fathers, bosses, superiors who made others live in constant fear and pressure. These were living mountains who crushed others under the weight of their authority and coldness. Punishment in this hell. The soul is chained beneath a colossal stone mountain that slowly collapses and crushes them completely. Even when ground into dust, the soul remains conscious, fully feeling each moment of agony. After being flattened, the soul regenerates, only to be crushed again, in an eternal cycle of karmic retribution. With every collapse, the voices of the people they once oppressed echo in their mind, like an unending curse. Moral message. Those who became a burden on others will be crushed by the weight of their own karma. The mountain symbolizes power misused, and the seat of control becomes the stone that destroys. No height, title, or strength can escape the consequences of unjust oppression. Flesh-slicing hell. Reason for punishment. This hell punishes those who ruthlessly exploited others to the point of exhaustion or ruin emotionally, physically, or financially. It includes loan sharks and cruel debt collectors who destroyed lives and families for profit, abusive employers who overworked, underpaid, or enslaved their workers, those who took credit or stole labor, draining others' efforts for personal gain, emotional manipulators who made others give everything only to abandon them hollow and broken. These are people who lived by cutting pieces from others to feed themselves. Punishment in this hell. The soul is chained to a stone pillar, while demon wardens use dull knives to slice off the flesh from the arms, shoulders, back, chest, stomach. Each cut brings excruciating pain, and the soul remains fully conscious, unable to faint or die. The sliced flesh retains feeling, writhing on the ground as if still alive. Once the body is flayed clean, the soul regenerates, and the torment begins all over again without end. Moral message. Those who lived by stripping others will be stripped down to their own flesh. Anyone who drains the life, body, or spirit of others for money, power, or comfort is planting deep karmic debt, even if it's through words, contracts, or manipulation. If someone sacrificed themselves for you while you took and walked away, then karma will one day slice you down piece by piece. Snake Hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. Snake Hell is reserved for those who were two-faced, deceitful, and silently malicious, including backstabbers who schemed to hurt others from behind the scenes, sweet-talking manipulators who won trust only to betray and ruin others, gossipers and slanderers who spread lies or rumors that destroyed reputations, silent schemers who set traps for others while pretending to be innocent. Those who carried a snake in their heart will have snakes coiled around their soul in death. Punishment in this hell. The soul is thrown into a pit full of venomous snakes of all sizes and kinds. Some breathe fire, some fly. All are deadly. Snakes crawl over the soul, slither into the mouth, nose, and ears, biting and injecting poison that burns from within. Others coil around the body, crushing bones, suffocating the soul in agony. Every snake represents a lie told, a scheme made, or a truth twisted, now returning to bite their creator. Moral message. Malice isn't always loud. It hides behind words, smiles, and fake concern. Snake Hell is where every whisper of betrayal turns into a serpent of retribution. Yaksha Hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. Yaksha Hell punishes those who were violent, aggressive, cruel, and took pleasure in harming others, including those who assaulted others for no reason, bullying the weak for a sense of power, individuals who provoked conflict, started fights, or fueled violence just to watch others suffer, people who abused their strength, dominating or torturing others physically or mentally, those who acted like beasts, driven by anger, hatred, and bloodlust. Those who nourish the demon within will face the demons they created. Punishment in this hell. The soul is thrown into a demonic arena, where terrifying Yakshas half-human, half-beast demons await. The Yakshas use weapons made of human bone, along with claws and fangs, to tear the soul apart piece by piece. Some devour the soul, then blow a foul wind that regenerates it so they can start again. Their insane laughter and gleaming eyes are reflections of the cruelty once hidden in the sinner's heart. Moral message. Those who took joy in inflicting pain will be consumed by the beast within. Brutality is not power, it is proof that the human soul has already decayed into a demon. Yaksha Hell reveals what happens when a person lets go of humanity and feeds their inner monster. (15) Bone-grinding hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. Bone-grinding hell punishes those who were cruel to the very core, not only causing physical pain, but destroying others from the inside out. Those who crushed others' willpower, manipulated minds, and made people lose faith in themselves. People who shattered dignity, stripped others of their self-worth and identity. Those who dehumanized others, turning them into mere tools or silent slaves. This hell is called bone-grinding for a reason. It punishes those who once shattered the essence of another human being. Punishment in this hell. The soul is thrown into a colossal grinding machine, made of stone wheels, iron chains, and jagged gears. It doesn't just shred the flesh, it crushes the bones. The body is pressed into the grinding wheels, bone snapping into fragments, the sound echoing like the screams of past victims. Even when the entire skeleton turns to dust, the soul remains conscious, suspended in pain without form. Moral message. Those who once crushed the soul of another will be crushed down to the marrow. The deepest evil isn't always physical, it's the destruction of identity, trust, and spirit. Bone-grinding hell exists to punish those who attacked humanity at its core, not just on the surface. 16. Hanging hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. Hanging hell punishes those who twisted the truth, reversed justice, and confused right and wrong, including those who distorted facts, falsely accused the innocent, or manipulated testimony. People who constantly shifted blame, changing their words to protect themselves while harming others. Hypocrites, who appeared virtuous on the outside but were secretly malicious inside, fooling others with false righteousness. These are souls who lived upside down in life, so in death, they are hung upside down for eternity. Punishment in this hell. The soul is suspended upside down by ropes, head dangling over a pit of fire, blood rushing to the brain, creating unbearable pain. Every time the soul shakes or resists, blades positioned beneath them cut into the scalp, letting blood drip into the flames. Above, mirrors show the faces of people they falsely accuse, their eyes filled with sadness and betrayal. Moral message. Those who live against truth will be hung against heaven forever. Lies do more than deceive, they destroy trust, honor, and justice. Hanging upside down is a fitting punishment for those who turned morality upside down in life. (17) Biting hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. Biting hell punishes those who inflicted deep emotional or physical pain on others through words or violent acts, including people who used cruel, venomous language to humiliate, degrade, or break others' spirits. Those who physically abused others, scratching, biting, or hitting to satisfy rage or dominance. Verbal aggressors whose insults and mockery led others to depression, self-harm, or lifelong trauma. Their mouths may not have drawn blood, but their words and actions were poison fangs. Now, they will be bitten by the very darkness they unleashed. Punishment in this hell. The soul is thrown into total darkness, where thousands of disembodied jaws float silently like sharks in a black sea. The jaws lunge and bite at random, tearing flesh and crushing bones. The soul cannot see them, only feel the pain, the fear, and the helplessness. At times, the jaws are revealed to be replicas of the sinner's own mouth, repeating their past cruel words before biting into their own body. Moral message: those who weaponized words and hands like fangs will be devoured by them in return. Words can cut deeper than weapons. A cruel sentence can bite through the soul. Biting hell is a literal reflection of how pain spoken or inflicted will one day return as punishment. (18) Avici Hell. Reason for punishment: sins committed. Avici Hell is reserved for the most wicked and remorseless souls, those who committed irreversible, inhuman crimes, including mass murderers who killed mercilessly, without remorse, sometimes even with pleasure. War criminals, tyrants, or genocidal leaders responsible for the suffering of thousands or millions. This is a place where time ceases to exist, light cannot reach, and punishment continues without pause. Hence the name Avici, meaning non-intermittent. Punishment in this hell. Avici Hell is an endless abyss, with no exit, no mercy, and no rest. The soul is burned, flayed, crushed, hung, devoured, sliced, stabbed, impaled, and torn. All torments from the previous 17 hells occur simultaneously and eternally. There is no moment of death or relief. Each second stretches into eternity, each scream echoes without end. Moral message: some sins are beyond forgiveness because they destroy not only lives, but the very moral fabric of existence. Avici is not just punishment, it is the final destination for those who have entirely severed themselves from compassion, morality, and redemption. It warns that absolute evil leads to absolute suffering, beyond even death. Conclusion: hell is a mirror of conscience. Though terrifying and cruel in depiction, the 18 levels of hell are not eternal damnation, they are a moral reflection. These realms exist as spiritual warnings, urging us to act with kindness, honesty, and awareness. In Buddhist belief, hell is not the end, but a detour, a painful lesson meant to awaken the soul and purify it before the next life. Which level of hell do you find the scariest? Please comment and let me know.